Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to another edition of That's Railroad, where we bring the railroad to you. We love doing it, too. Glad to have you with us. And today's show, we're going to talk about freight car springs. I've had many requests in the past, people wanting to know about springs, especially watching them being compressed while they're being loaded, and I guess you call it decompressed, while the cars are being dumped. So we're going to show you that. I'm going to talk to you about freight car springs. Okay, pretty interesting stuff, I think. So I hope you will enjoy today's show. All right, we're up here at the where they load the cars right now, and I was down here tamping a little bit ago. I had to clear up. We're in the siding. Had to clear up. The train just came in. Typically, if the prep plant is not running very well, then we'll have the train come in and pull through, and the tamper here and the regulator will go on out. But the prep plant is running really good coal today, really quick, and we're not going to hold the train up today. So so we have to wait for him to get loaded, but that's all right, because it's really good to see him running coal, and a lot of it, and yeah, that's really good to see. Okay, so we have orders today not to hold the train up, but that's sometimes you got to wait, and that's okay. Like I said, it's really good to see him running coal. Really is. All right. Okay, that car's loaded. Got 115 ton in it. Really doesn't go down very far. You watch the bolster go down, push those down, and that's the weight limit, 51,000. Most of these aluminum cars are 51,000 light, and 235,000 on with the coal in there. So it's about 115 ton they put in there. Okay, saw that one get down pretty good. These are Freight Car America. They're a little bit lighter. The other cars that we have are Trinity cars. Okay, there you have it. How about that? Those springs should never be compressed. They should never be compressed. All right. So that is a defect if those springs are compressed. They have those D5 springs have about a 50% reserve capacity in them. So if they do get compressed, oh, sorry about that. If they do get compressed, that is a defect. It's a weak spring. Should always be a little bit of a gap in there on those coils. All right, how about that? There you go. Stay tuned. There's more to come. Okay, here's a broken spring. All right. Now the problem with a broken spring, one broken spring out of there is not an AAR defect. Okay, but the problem is that puts more load on the other spring nests in there. Okay, so like I said, one broken spring like that is not a defect, but it's so we try to get that fixed as soon as we can. Get this car out and get it fixed. But again, that puts an extra load on the other springs. How about that? You know, the springs are part of your suspension system in there. Someday I'll do another video on that suspension system in that truck set. There are these are 100-ton cars, so they have the corresponding strength parts in the truck sets for 100-ton cars. They also have 70-ton cars. They have 125-ton cars, and each of those have corresponding parts in their truck sets for those also. All right. Okay. I got to go get a can of orange paint out of my tamper and paint that spring. So I'll be back with more. Now, one thing, broken springs. If you see a car, let's say you have a whole train here, you see a car going down the track and you got one car flopping around. A possibility, one possibility that car is flopping around is because you got broken spring or weak springs in there. All right, that's not always the case why a car is flopping around. These cars have side bearings in them. In there, the side bearing might be broken, or the wear plate under there might be too thin, or there might not be a correct adjustment between the side bearings and that wear plate that's in there. probably can't see that. Being he's moving, it's in there. Now that particular bearing, if you can see, it's a constant contact, so it's constantly in contact with that wear plate in there. Some of our cars have roller bearings, and they have to have a certain they have to have a certain clearance. So that's another possibility. You can see a rocking car. If you see a whole bunch of rocking cars, then you probably got a track problem where the track's going like that. But if you just see one or so cars, then you might want to check for these broken springs or weak springs. Sometimes the springs get deformed also. Aha! Pretty cool stop, huh? Yeah, everybody sees cars rocking and they think, well, you got bad track. Well, that may not necessarily be the case. Might be in your cars. All right, and might be another problem in that damping system on that truck set, causing the car to rock too. Alrighty, there we go. Okay, I got my IT-24 here, and this is the easy way. You lift that bolster up so you can get replaced springs if need be. Just lift that up with the forks, hydraulics, nice. And that will come right out of there. See that? Pretty cool, huh? Easy, 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 easy. This is an old junk truck set, so hold that out of there. I wanted to show you something. All right, how about that? Pretty cool stuff. Okay, I said these are old used truck sets. Some people call them trucks, and our friends across the pond, a lot of them call them bogies. Anyway, I'll do another video series on truck sets at some point in the future, but I wanted to show you this. Now, I just pulled that one out of there, but like I said, these are junk, and those springs would never be used again anyway. They've got probably a permanent set in them. So if this truck set ever gets rebuilt, all the springs will get replaced. But this is a defect, a missing spring. Well, a single missing spring is a defect, bad order car, take it out right away. Here's another defect that has to get taken out right away, is if these spring packs are twisted at an angle like that. Another defect, I've seen them actually where this has come out and been out on this piece too. That is a defect that has to get taken out right away. Like I said, it's just a single broken spring is not a defect. It has to get taken out right away. That car can get taken and unloaded, and then it should be taken out if it's a broken spring. But these are defects. It's got to get taken out, and you know, if it happens out here, then we're going to obviously unload it over here and then take it out. So those are a couple more defects I wanted to show you. I got a lot to talk about. This is a big subject. This is called a nest of springs. Some people call them a spring pack. All right, it's a helical coil. Some springs, some helical coils are wound hot and some are wound cold, and I don't know what the difference for the application between a cold coiled spring and a hot coiled spring is, and I don't know if these are cold or hot coiled. I don't know that, but this is interesting because in our cars, you know, we've obviously got a heavy load. We're right at the limit, 286,000 pounds with our car and our tear. You know, we put 115 tons in each car, but that's pretty heavy application for these 100-ton cars. Okay, we're right at the limits, but different cars have different configurations on their springs. We have 9 springs. Where the spring sets down in there, that's called a spring nest. All right, where they sit. This is the spring nest. Okay, not all. We have 9 nests of spring in there, or 9 spring packs, however you want to say it. Okay, not all cars have 9. Our particular cars have an outer coil, an inner coil, and an inner coil. Some cars, depending again on the weight of the car, will only have a outer coil. Some cars will have an outer and an inner coil. Okay? And like I said, our cars have the outer, inner, and inner. Now here's what I want to show you this. When you're putting these together, see how this goes this way? This next one goes the opposite way. I dropped this one. We'll get it up here and put it in, and it goes the same way as the outer coil would go, like that. All right, that's how they get set in there. See that? That's down in there. See, this is opposite. This is opposite from this, and this goes the same as the outside. Okay, all right, very good. We'll show you some more stuff here. Then I've got a train coming in, so I've got a few minutes before I can get out on track. When he comes in, he's going to pull through and let me out. So I got a few minutes to wait. He'll be here in about 10 minutes or so. So I got to wait on him to come in. Very good. I'll tell you some more stuff. Good stuff. I love this stuff. All right. I said this is a junk spring. It will no longer ever get used again. It'll get replaced with new if it ever gets rebuilt. The truck set. And this is the spring group pattern on our hopper hopper cars. So you have 3 in a row, then 3 in a row in the center, and 3 in a row on the other side. Spring group, that is a group of springs. Okay? And like not all cars have the same spring groups patterns. All right? You see this is on our ballast car. You can see it's quite a different pattern. Okay, so I have 2 on the outside, 3 in the center, and 2 on the inside. Now those are a D3 spring. All right, I'm going to talk to you about that here in a little bit. The D3, the design 3 springs. Okay, hold on, I got to get off track. Okay, this is a 1 group pattern here. That's 1 group pattern. There is another pattern. And here is yet another pattern. And again, you know, some of the cars may not have all that number of springs. They may not be arranged in that particular pattern or any of these particular patterns. They might be arranged in a different. This is for a barber truck set. Okay. It just depends on what the car is, and you know, oh, sorry, what they're carrying, the various springs. Okay, let me show you another thing here. All right, here is a brand new spring, and this is the old one that I took out of here earlier in the video. See the inner ones. This one is a little bit more fatigued than the new ones. This one is fairly close, and I'm just doing this by eye. They make a gauge to gauge that. Let me show you that gauge right now before I forget. Okay, we do not have one of these gauges here. All right, this doggone sun behind me, that's a gauge. Okay, like I said, the professional car shops have a gauge, but that's what it looks like. We do not have one here. We just replace the springs if needed. Okay, so got that covered. These have a D designation, the design on them. They're usually stamped on the first coil. This is a D5. Okay, D5 spring. That's the most common type of spring used on freight cars. They do have other D designations with design. All right, sometimes they're stamped on the inner ring. They're not always stamped. This particular spring here is not stamped. Okay, so let me show you that. He just shut our locomotive down, number 3098. You heard it running. But okay, D5s are the most common. Let me show you this. This is okay, and again, I gotta take my glasses off so I can see. Where are we at here? AER freight car. There you go. You look at the D3 I was telling you. The outer is a very unforgiving spring. Look over here at the what it takes to compress this. Now these springs do have, when they're in the car, about a 50% reserve capacity. Okay, so they should never be driven solid. This D5 outer that I showed you, there's the dimensions on a stenciling on them. Usually most cars do. Not every single car out there has a stenciling on the end sheet, or sometimes on the side. Gives you the number and type of springs that are required in a spring group for that particular car. Here's ours. What we have on our hopper cars. Okay, very good. All right, we'll try to catch him here unloading the car so you can see the springs coming up. All right, very good. Hope you're enjoying today's show. Okay, get ready. There you have it. about that? Okay. We'll let you watch another one here. Both sides come up equal. All right. All right. Hope you enjoyed today's show and found it educational. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching. Hey! That's railroad. I love it. All right.